Hey everyone, in this quick video tutorial I'm going to show you how to set up a 360-degree mouse look inside Blender's game engine. Okay, so you can see I've got my perspective view over here on the left. I've got my camera view here on the right so I can see what the player would see. Down here below I've got the logic editor so I can set up some code. Right now I've just set up my cube moving forward using the W key, so that's how I'm going to move around. Okay, so I'm going to start by taking my cube and I'm going to make it taller so it represents a human. So I'm going to press Tab and I'm going to enter edit mode, and I think I'll take this top face here and I'll press GZ and grab it and make it a little taller so it represents more of a human being. Okay, I'll press Tab and go back into object mode, and I'm going to go ahead and lift the person up just a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to add physics to the player. So I'm going to come over here on the right hand side, click on the physics panel, and I'm going to set the physics type to character. And when I do that, then I also want to turn on collision bounds, so that way it's got a physical boundary, so that way I can collide. And I don't know if you can see it, but over here in the left-hand view, the collision bounds box, there we go, you can see it. It's actually not in the right place, and so what happens is if I press play, it should be falling, but it doesn't. And the reason why is the collision bounds is off from the cube. So why is that? Well, the origin, which is this dot with the three axes coming out of it, that has moved, and it's because I modeled the cube in edit mode and I made it taller. So to fix that, I'm going to come over here on this toolbar on the left, and if you don't see this toolbar, you can just press the letter T, and I'm going to come right here where it says set origin, and I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to choose origin to geometry, and now you'll see that the origin goes right into the middle of the geometry. And now you'll see that the collision bounds is right there. It's not going through the ground anymore. And now when I press P for play, you'll see that it does fall and collides properly. Okay, so that's good there. All right, I'm going to come down here and I'm going to set my motion actuator to character motion. And actually, no, I'm going to set it to, I'm just going to keep it as simple motion. And I'm going to have my character move on the y-axis, positive y, and I'm just going to set it to, we'll try 0.25. All right, and so now when I press play, W, you can see my character moves forward. Okay, so that's the basic moves. So now I want to set up mouse control. All right, so I'm going to come down here to my logic editor, and I've got my character selected. I'm going to add a sensor, and it's going to be mouse movement. It's going to be a mouse sensor, and the mouse event is going to be set to movement. Okay, then I'm going to come over here to add actuator, and that's going to be a mouse actuator as well. And I need to wire them up by left mouse clicking and dragging, connecting those. And then over here on the actuator, I'm going to change the mode from visibility to look. And then what I want to do is I want this one to use only the x-axis of the mouse. So I'm going to turn off the y-axis just by clicking on it, and that disables it. So now I'm only using the x-axis of the mouse, which is left and right movement of the mouse like I'm doing right there. So when I press play, when I move my mouse left, right, you'll see that I am in fact controlling the player. So that's me looking left and right. Okay, so how do I get the looking up and down to complete it? Well, what I need to do is I need to select my camera by right mouse clicking on it, and I need to put the camera on top of the player as if it's the eyeballs. So the fastest way to do this is to select the camera, and then on your keyboard press Option R, and that resets the camera's rotation. So now the camera's facing straight down. So now I want the camera to look straight ahead towards the y-axis. So to do it towards the y-axis, I'm going to press R, X, and then I'm going to type in 90 to do 90 degrees. And you can see now the camera is actually facing towards the positive y-axis, and you can see over here in the camera view it's looking just fine. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and move my camera over there, and I'll just go ahead and get it set up. I'm on a laptop right now that doesn't have a number pad. Okay, so there we go. If I want to change my view and go to view, and I'll maybe go to the side view, you can see better. So here's my camera. I'll put it right there in front, and there we go. And I'll just go check out the top view. Again, normally you could press numpad 7, numpad 3. You could try both of those. And I'm just checking my views out here. And there we go. My camera's looking pretty good. Okay, so now what I need to do is I need to parent the camera to the cube. So that way if I move the cube, the camera comes along with it. So the way you parent in Blender is you select the child object first. So I want the camera to be the child, and I want the cube to be the parent. So I right mouse click on the cube on the camera, then I shift right mouse click on the cube. With them both selected, I then press Control P, and I choose Set Parent to, and I'm going to say Object. Okay, so now what you should see is a little dashed line going from the camera to the cube. Now, how do you know you actually did it? Well, if I select the camera and I press G to grab it and move it around, you'll see that it moves, but the cube does not. I'll press Escape to cancel that. If I select the cube and I press G and move it around, you'll notice that because it's the parent object, the camera follows it around. Okay, so the child always follows the parent. Okay, so now I'm going to set up the mouse look. So I'm going to select the camera, and I'm going to go down to Add Sensor, and I'm going to add in a mouse sensor. I'm going to change the mouse event to movement, so that way it's tracking the mouse's movement. Then I'm going to go here to Add Actuator, and it's going to be a mouse actuator. I'll make sure I connect those two, and I'll change the actuator's mode to look, but this time I want to be able to look up and down. So I want to track the mouse's up and down movement, and that's using the y-axis. So I'm going to turn off and disable the use x-axis. Okay, so now if I put my mouse pointer here in the camera view and press play, if I move my mouse left and right, you can see I can look left and right. I'm steering left and right. If I move my mouse up and down, you can see, even though I don't have anything in my scene, you can see that I am moving the camera up and down. You can't see it happening in the other window there, which is unfortunate, but it is in fact working. And of course I can move forward, and I can go around and move around my scene. Okay, so that is it. When you get really good at this process, it takes about 5 or 6 minutes to set up. But that's essentially it. You now have a fully functioning moving character with mouse look so that you can move through all of your 3D environments. I hope this helps you out, and I'll see you next time.